Captain Rambeau, sir.
Captain? Captain Gerard. Captain?
We didn't expect you so soon.
What are the latest reports, Major?
Not encouraging. 3 days ago, one of our patrols was ambushed at the Oasis.
Major, if you have not heard, there is a war in France. I was asking about that.
Radio reports that the survivors of Dunkirk have reached England and that the Nazis are marching on Paris.
Then undoubtedly we shall hear of the death of better men than ourselves. I was told there were 4 officers here.
Lieutenant Marat is in Bujiba. He was aide to General Beaufort and took over temporary command there when the general was killed.
Colonel, the honor guard for your inspection, sir.
Dismiss it.
Yes, sir.
Let's make my position clear, Major. I've not come to assume command in Timbuktu for ceremonials. Not while the men of my regiment in France are dying. Have someone show Madame Dufour to our quarters, please. And raise that flag. I do not choose to have the emblem of France, but at the top of the staff.
Shall we proceed, sir?
In short, gentlemen, no headway has been made in suppressing this insurrection.
None, sir. The entire Sudan seems ready to rise and follow the holy man.
I've seen no proof yet that Mohammed Adani is associated with this rebellion.
I think we do have proof. Every time a French soldier is killed, we find one of these medallions on his body. This has been the sign of Mohammed Adani for nearly 50 years.
The administration of the French Sudan has been greatly facilitated by the cooperative help of the Mohammed Adani. He has welcomed and collaborated on the advances France has made in the welfare of the native population. That is the view of the colonial office. Come in. How do you reconcile it with the report you've just made?
I can't. Until 3 months ago, I would cheerfully have entrusted my life to the holy man.
And I. Now the desert has swallowed him. His camps move like the drifting sands. He strikes and he's gone. We're fighting a phantom.
Oh, come, gentlemen. Phantoms don't use rifles. And rifles without ammunition are valueless. They must be getting it from somewhere. But it won't be from Timbuktu. No one is to leave the city without a pass signed by me. And anyone found with one of these on his person is to be arrested, without question.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
All right, let's have the money.
When we get the guns.
Look, the deal was cash in advance.
Things are different now. You take the guns to Bujiba. You'll get your money there.
Oh, I know that deal real well. You get the guns, I end up in an anthill.
You think we are fools. You get the money, and we don't get the guns. You've tried to leave Timbuktu for 3 months now, and cannot because you have no money. When these are gone, you won't eat.
Well, now that you put it that way, you win. Bujiba it is. But look, I happen to know something about that desert country. Knives have a habit of growing in people's back. I want some protection.
You're not as much of a fool as I thought you were. You'll be safe with this.
It's very pretty. But it's not quite what I'm looking for. I knew you had a knife slinger out there.
Into the Harwich! My cousin is always with me.
Good. Well, I want him to cross the desert with me. Sort of an insurance policy. Now, if that's agreeable to you, I'll shove off Thursday. Meet you in Bujiba with the guns and your delightful little playmate.
He'll wait for you at the city gates.
Present arms.
What a difference your lovely things make. They've transformed this room.
They certainly have a lot to make up for. Jean, are all army posts like this?
Like this? Oh, this is a palace. You see our quarters in Bojeva.
I wish you weren't going back there. It's going to be lonely here.
I have a husband who's lonely there.
Must be very nice to be important to someone.
Natalie, the colonel has been so busy the past few days. A new command, a new staff. Takes time.
Charles is a very unhappy man.
Well, he doesn't look unhappy here.
That was St. Moritz, our honeymoon. Before the war. That was when I thought I would be the one love in Charles' life.
Another woman? Oh, I don't believe it.
No, it wasn't another woman. It was having to leave his regiment that broke his heart.
But you're so lucky to have left France at this time.
That's what I thought, too. I was almost glad when Charles was wounded. I was actually happy when he was ordered here, out of danger. Well, now I know how foolish I was.
Good morning, Madame Marat.
Good morning.
Morning, my dear. You're up early.
It's too hot not to be.
When will you be sending supplies up to Bojeva, Colonel?
Oh, in a week, I hope.
Oh, I'm glad. I want to get back to my husband.
Excuse me.
Certainly.
He's busy.
I don't care if he's busy. I'm busy, too.
Mr. Conway, I've told you before. Colonel Dufour is in his quarters. Cannot be disturbed.
Fine. If he won't come out here to see me, I'll go in to see him.
I'm here. What is it you wish?
Oh, Colonel, I need your signature on this to get out of this country of yours.
Where do you wish to go?
Bojeva.
For what purpose?
Trading. My name's Conway.
I know your name.
Well, in that case, all you have to do is put your signature on it, and I'll be on my way.
Permission is denied.
You know, Colonel, I was under the impression that you were interested in the whereabouts of Muhammad Adani. Guess I'm wrong. Well, welcome to Timbuktu. And on top of that, I want to give you the entire freedom of the port. I hope you get it. I can.
Mr. Conway.
Yes?
Come in here, please. Cigarette? Now, what did your rudeness mean?
This man that you replaced, General Beaufort, did he mention anything at all in his papers about me?
One entry 4 months ago. Your nationality is American, your occupation unknown. You have no visible means of support. Anything else you wish to add?
All I know is that I had a deal with the general.
You will forgive me if I don't swallow such a statement.
Well, if you don't swallow that, you'll choke on this. The deal was for me to sell guns to the Mohammed Striggermen.
Mr. Conway, either you are mad or you think I am. You propose that I allow rifles and machine guns to fall in the hands of the savages.
Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. My pack horses are loaded with sewing machines.
Then you are mad. Why, these savages would cut you to ribbons for such a fraud.
It's what you military men call a calculated risk. The general promised me $2,500 US.
Evidently, General Beaufort had great trust in you.
Not any more than you do. But he was desperate, just the way you'll be. You see, I'm your only lead to the man you want.
What makes you think you can find Muhammad Adani?
His stooges made a point to find me. Now, here's my pass into their territory. All I need is a pass out of yours. Well, what are you doing here? Thought I was going to meet you in Bojeva.
I've been thinking of that. My men will ride with you to protect the guns from the French.
Ah, my men will ride with me to protect the guns from you.
How did you get your pass from the French to leave the city when Colonel Dufour is stopping everyone else?
Look, if you don't trust me, if you think I'm double-crossing you, call the deal off.
Conway! Use your men to convey the guns. But just make sure they reach Bourguiba.
They'll get there all right. Your muff-faced cousin will see to that.
You should have let me search his freight, sir. This American is perfectly capable of smuggling guns. As you say, Captain, perfectly capable. But if the guns are going to Bourguiba, so are we. You will have a patrol mounted and ready to leave within the hour. Yes, sir. You'll take command, Major. Sealed orders to be opened in 3 days. Very good, sir. Madame Marat. You will be joining your husband sooner than expected. We shall leave for Bourguiba within the hour.
How wonderful. I'll pack right away.
I'll help you.
You won't have time, Natalie. You must pack, too. Only the essentials.
You're not going to take your wife up there, Colonel.
Why do I have to go?
There's no choice. I'm sorry, my darling.
Well, don't be sorry, Charles. I'll be ready.
Tomorrow I'll give you back your little knife. You can go back to your old line of business, slitting throats.
She's a harouch. A harouch ma'oul.
Get off and fix it, you idiot. Waiting for you to make your move. It's not a bad one. Take your move!
Detach the squad to remain with the women and pack horses. Deploy the troops in open order.
Squad number 4, remain with women and pack horses. Open order. Forward! Pass!
Rescue mission finally arrived. A little late, but good to see you, Colonel.
Send word to the rest of the detachment to join us here, Captain.
Yes, sir. Corporal Petit, bring the rest of the detachment to this point.
How many men have you lost?
7 so far.
I'm counting 8 bodies.
That one doesn't count. He's my passport.
What about your merchandise?
Well, it took 3 of my horses and 6 of my cases.
Containing?
You know, Colonel, your suspicious nature is beginning to annoy me. If you want to know what's in those cases, why don't you open one?
We gathered the enemy dead, sir. 24 bodies.
You know your business, Conway. The forces were well deployed, and you have given a good account of yourself.
Sir, the box contained a sewing machine.
When times are tough, I whip up a few turbans for the Arabs.
Mr. Conway, please gather your men. We have about 3 hours of daylight left. We'll make the most of it. Form a burial detail, and we shall leave within the quarter hour.
Yes, sir.
Poor soul. Charles, is there anything you can do?
Nothing. The wounded have been looked after.
I think I owe you an apology. When I offered you the freedom of the port, I didn't know that the beach was going to be littered up with bodies.
Mr. Conway.
Yes?
I'm cold. Can't we have a fire?
Now, you know better than that. Those monkeys would be back here almost before you could turn around.
I don't believe it. They might attack your convoy, but surely not French troops. I'm going to ask my husband.
Look, I know more about this country than your husband ever will. Now, why don't you listen to me?
I take my orders from him.
All right, you want to commit suicide? Fine.
Oh, don't be impertinent.
I'm not being impertinent.
You don't have to make slurring remarks about my husband's military capabilities. His having to be here is no reflection.
You need not make apologies for me, my dear. Particularly to Mr. Conway. But in this instance, he's correct. A fire would be unwise. I'm sorry you're cold. There's no alternative. Oh, Colonel.
Has it ever occurred to you that your friends outside might be getting a little bitter over receiving nothing further trouble but a few beat-up sewing machines?
That is my hope.
Well, it's my guess that they're out right now, rounding up every tribesman they can find. So the next time they hit us, there'll be no contest.
Well, we agree again.
Well, what are we waiting for, Colonel? The closer we get to Bourguiba, the closer we are to safety.
Captain Gerard and 8 men left for Bourguiba an hour ago.
Yeah, I know. The old sacrifice. Send out a half a dozen men to be bumped off.
You said you were bored with my suspicions, Mr. Conway. Well, I am more than bored with yours. Captain Gerard is under strict order not to be drawn into battle. If attacked, he is to flee. He has but one purpose, to get to Bourguiba and order out the garrison. Meanwhile, we hope we can withstand the enemy attack until they get here.
You're only looking for trouble.
That's what I'm here for. We will engage the enemy whenever the opportunity arises. Now, is there anything else you wish to say?
Yeah. You know, I'm beginning to understand your wife's attitude towards suicide.
Now, may I ask a question? Why does a man like you risk his life for France?
Colonel, there's only one thing I ever risk my neck for. Money. And possibly a few other things.
Sergeant, keep the troops moving. I'll follow after.
Company, forward!
Now you know why I was so anxious to get back to my husband. This is desert warfare.
thorough job.
Mount up, Mr. Conway.
Look, we gotta bury these guys.
There isn't time. There'll be no help coming from Bourguiba now. If savages attack us again, we won't be able to fight them off.
Charles, you can't leave them like this.
You will not leave the column without my permission. Follow me.
It wasn't your husband's fault, Natalie. Believe me, it wasn't.
I'm afraid she's right this time. The captain had a good 600-yard start around the dune. But he wanted to fight for it. He disobeyed your husband's orders.
Look! It's Victor, my husband.
Lieutenant Moran reporting, sir. Welcome to Bourguiba. Calling, Lieutenant.
Yes? My horse pulled a blame, Colonel. I'm going to need another one. A good one, I hope.
There's nothing you can accomplish now that they discovered what was in those cases.
You let me worry about that. But I will need your help.
Let me worry about that. When you find the Mohammed, I'll be close behind you.
You'll be welcome to. Don't scream.
What are you doing up there?
I'm your watchdog. You know, around here, knives have a way of sailing through the dark. And you're a very attractive target.
Why the costume?
Well, I know it looks pretty silly, but it's much safer.
Wouldn't it be safer being in America?
I give up this golden opportunity to get rich.
Do you expect to get rich here?
Sure. I'm a genius. So is the guy who came out here with me. You know, the natives transport their salt across the desert. It takes 4,000 or 5,000 camels twice a year to move it across. We were going to lay a pipeline, mix the water with salt, and dehydrate it on this end. But we forgot one thing. No water.
What are you looking for now?
Same old thing. Money.
Oh, yes. The only cause you'd risk your neck for. What's that?
Oh, it's something to keep me awake.
Oh, an alarm on a wristwatch. Where'd you get it?
You know, the person who gave me that is really fond of me.
To Conway from Conway. You're a strange breed, Mr. Conway.
Well, I hope I'm at least a thoroughbred mongrel.
Last night you and my husband were at each other's throats. Yet this afternoon, you defended him to me. Why?
Let's put it this way. Your husband has his code. And I have mine.
Is it part of your code to make love to another man's wife?
When a guy like myself runs into a girl as attractive as you, his code flies right out the window. All I know is I have to try. After I've tried, I know. And now I know. So you better get back in there where you belong. This night air is no good for you. Tell those idiot goons of yours to put their knives away and get back against the wall.
Turco! Lead-vous!
You didn't expect those sewing machines, did you? You thought I'd be stupid enough to bring the guns here. Well, for your information, they've been in Bojiba for the last 2 days.
You'll pay for this. Just like the swine that put this on my face.
You haven't got the guts to go back to your boss and tell him you have sewing machines. He'd do to you exactly what happened to your cousin. There's a little souvenir that I dug out of his chest. All right, let's get going. Because I'm going to deliver those guns and collect for them.
Get up! Where? Where? Signal that we are friends.
It better be. Tell him to let us go through.
Sie maintenant! Le rouge!
An enterprising man, Mr. Conway. Foolishly so, I fear.
He forced me to bring him here.
What'd you expect me to do? You try to hijack me? There are your guns as promised. Now, I'd like to have my money.
Good kindness, Conway. I quite agree with you. I, too, disapprove of stealing. Who attempted it?
That idiot. He killed 7 of my men. And then on top of that, he wanted your guns and my money.
He is a liar.
Well, he's your friend. So I'll let you decide which one is telling the truth.
I always believe what I want to believe, Mr. Conway. Now, the only trouble is that by forcing this wretched man to bring you here has exposed you to knowledge that makes you a dangerous risk.
A risk? Look, all I know is that I was taken to a desert camp, which will disappear by morning. Introduced to a desert chieftain who will disappear with it. I don't know who you are or where I am.
Forgive me. I forgot we hadn't met. I am the Emir Ibn Bakai, sometimes known as the Lion of the Desert. Well, you know, these desert tribesmen always love a flowery form of address.
Glad to know you. Now to get back to the part where I'm a risk. Just how am I going to explain to the French that I'm selling you their guns?
Their guns? These are French weapons?
Check the markings.
How did you get them?
I borrowed them from their arsenal in Timbuktu. Now, do you still think I'm a risk?
Your logic defeats me, Mr. Conway. This is my chamberlain, Nazir Abed Din. I trust you don't mind gold.
I love it.
When I know the guns are in perfect working condition.
Oh, I give a demonstration with every sale. Now, if I shoot it in your tent here, it's not going to help it any.
Well, as you pointed out, It won't be here by morning anyway.
Whatever you say.
Remarkable. May I?
It's your gun.
Oh. Now, Now, you see which one of you I believe? There you are, Mr. Conway. And in addition, you will always have the blessings of Muhammad Adani.
Whoever he is.
Well, he will be the leader of Islam. Incidentally, it is in his name that I venture to ask you one small favor.
As long as you don't ask for the money back.
Oh, no. Nothing so distasteful. No, these guns. How can you expect my poor half-starved desert people to operate anything so complicated? You must teach them, Mr. Conway. Be their tutor.
And if I refuse, you will no doubt have me tattooed like your friend over there.
Well, a variation of design, perhaps. No, you can spare a few days. And after that, there won't be any necessity for machine guns.
Who is this leader of yours?
That's no concern of yours, Mr. Conway.
More on the contrary. I have a great interest in this little shooting match of yours. You see, if you don't win, it means my neck. This new colonel is not too fond of me as it is.
Oh, how stupid of me. Yes, one of my men reported that the wife of this new colonel was being made love to last night by a tribesman. It couldn't have been you, could it, Mr. Conway?
I don't fight for lost causes. Not even if it's the colonel's lady. Now, if you have a religious crusade going for you here, you might be able to pull it off.
We shall pull it off, Mr. Conway. Make no mistake about that. Isi buile nahitani. Our spiritual leader, Muhammad Adani. He will restore our land to Islam.
You're very shrewd. You even have the holy man going for you. You know more about this thing than I do.
I am quick to learn, and what I've learned, I've passed on to the others.
Ready for the big event, huh?
The servant of Allah is always ready.
When does your holy man take over?
He'll be at the appointed place at the appointed time.
I pray that Allah has given you wisdom and that you've had a change of heart.
Allah has given me wisdom. The hour to strike is near. Your voice in the great mosque will be the signal.
My voice is the voice of peace. It will not call for war.
My ancestors were kings in the Sudan. You will not stand between me and my heritage. I promised you to uphold the laws of Allah. What further price do you demand for your cooperation?
Peace and justice, these my people are earning. There is no more slavery in the Sudan. The village council govern themselves without interference. This the French have done, and much else. They've brought doctors, teachers. The Sudan is not theirs and never will be. Someday, as they come, so must they go. When my people are ready to take their place in the world, then I will preach independence. But you would drag them back into the black night of ignorance and slavery and pagan cruelty. You will not succeed. You will not rob my people of their heritage.
Tomorrow it'll be your turn. Unless you can persuade your master to help me free Islam from the infidel. Well, I'm glad to see you being so conscientious, Mr. Conway.
What did you pay me for?
Well, perhaps working for me has other advantages. Tonight, you shall see Madame Dufour by moonlight. The colonel and his lady have been invited to my palace near Bourjeba.
Are you doing this for my benefit or for yours?
Well, let's just say that it shall serve us both well. Now, if you can learn how many troops Madame Dufour's husband left behind in Timbuktu...
Then you'd know how many men you had to fight.
Exactly.
Well, I can think of other things I'd rather discuss with her, but, as you said, I'm very conscientious.
Inspiring sight, isn't it, Mr. Conway? Our holy man leading his little band of disciples into the wilderness of the desert.
What about us? Do we just tag along?
In good time, Mr. Conway. In good time.
Natalie?
Yes?
We have been invited by the Emir to his palace tonight.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'd rather not go.
We don't have so many friends in the Sudan that we can offend this one. Besides, the Emir's support is very essential to us. We will leave at 5.
Charles. Who is this Mr. Conway?
What he seems, an adventurer, for sale to the highest bidder.
I don't want to see him again.
I understand you are not liking him, but this is such a small place.
I do like him. That's why I don't want to see him again. Last night he tried to make love to me. I found it very difficult to turn him away.
You can't be serious. You can't possibly like this adventurer.
It surprised me, too. It's not exactly the attitude of a convent-bred, well-sheltered Frenchwoman, is it? But somehow that convent seemed very far away last night. I just can't explain it.
Thank you for being so honest with me. تعرف هلال حسن؟
لا.
شوف. بكيفي.
Colonel Dufour, this is for you.
How did this get here?
The horse you loaned the American last night returned alone. This was tied to the reins.
It's the only way he could send word to me. He knew the horse would return to the stable. Come inside, Lieutenant. Lieutenant, please. Why did General Dufour have such a high regard for the Emir?
He's our strongest ally in the Sudan, sir. He's demonstrated his loyalty in many ways.
He will prepare a map immediately, a detailed map of the terrain around the palace. Every tree, every rock, and every grain of sand has to be marked.
Is the Emir in danger, sir?
Grave danger of a French firing squad.
What, sir?
Listen to this. The Emir took delivery of the guns. He's the one who wants them, not the Mohammed Adani. The Mohammed is the Emir's prisoner. But if you grab the Emir now, I won't have a chance of getting the Mahomet away. Just give me a little more time. I think they trust me because I'm supposed... the rest doesn't concern you.
Can you believe this, sir?
Today I can believe almost anything.
I'm ready, Charles.
You look very lovely.
Well, thank you. It's been a long time since you've said anything like that.
There are many things I might have said. Will you sit down a moment, please? What I have to say now, it won't come easy.
Oh? What is it, Charles?
We might see Mr. Conway tonight.
At the Amir's?
Yes.
Well, if we do, we'll be polite. After all, we're still civilized.
I want you to be more than polite.
What do you mean?
You said you liked him. I don't want you to conceal it, not even from him.
Let me understand you. You want your wife, you want me to expose myself to the advances of an adventurer? I use your own words.
As my wife, I'm sure that you can handle any advances.
All right, Charles. I'll follow your orders.
Natalie.
We needn't bother to instruct me. I'll know exactly what to do.
We are walking a tightrope. The Emir is a conspirator in this revolt. And Conway, the only hope to deliver the true leader in my hands. This letter is from Conway. They trust me because I'm supposed to have fallen in love with your wife, and vice versa. This gives me a motive to throw in against you. If the Emir ceases to believe that, Conway's usefulness is at an end, and very probably his life.
In other words, Conway is risking his life so that you can succeed in your mission. Charles,
we need not discuss this matter any further. It is my hope that after tonight it won't be necessary for either of us to see Mr. Conway again.
Oh, is that your hope? Well, it's definitely not mine.
Now for the real feature of this evening's entertainment. Unfortunately, it's only for the Colonel's eyes. I'm sure Mr. Conway will entertain Madame Dufour.
I'm at your service.
Excuse us, please.
Excuse me.
Where do you suppose they're going?
I don't know. But I'm glad they're gone. I want to thank you for that big hello. It made things a lot easier for me.
It was nothing.
Last night, I was a little rough. I hope you'll forgive me.
Mr. Conway, what's happened to you? You sound almost human.
I think I'll have another drink.
Here is a particularly beautiful rose. Your predecessor, General Beaufort, brought this to me from France. It's lovely, isn't it? Now, let me show you my prize specimen.
Who is this man?
It was he who ambushed the general, who attacked your men 2 days ago. He'll never attack again. You can take my word, Colonel. From now on, you can relax your vigilance.
With such a loyal friend, I think I may. Lieutenant Marat, have you drawn the map?
Down to the last grain of sand, sir.
Well, What did he say?
Who?
Don't play games with me. Conway.
Oh, he was very charming.
I'm not interested in his charms. What did he say to you? Every word.
Why, Charles, not jealous. I was only obeying orders.
Answer me. You were alone with him. What message did he send me?
I might have known it wasn't jealousy.
We'll take her back to the palace. It's much nearer.
I'm quite all right, really. Just shock.
Will you gentlemen excuse us? I'd like to be left alone with my wife for a moment. Let's go. Conway. Where's the Emir?
He's out there somewhere with the Adani.
How will you get word to me?
That's a good question. I don't have a spare horse.
What will you do now?
I don't know. If I arrest the Emir, I'm afraid it would be the trigger to fire the revolt and end all my last hope of finding the holy man.
Is Conway still your only lead to him?
Even he's useless if he can't get word to me.
Maybe he can.
How?
Let's say, for instance, it was too dangerous to move me. That I had to stay here. Well, he could give me the message. And then suddenly I could be well enough to come home.
Natalie, are you sure?
I'm not afraid.
All right. Give him this. This is the map that Marat drew. Here is the spot where somebody will be stationed day and night, ready to do his bidding. Tell him to study the map, to memorize it, and then destroy it. Is that clear?
Quite clear.
Tell Conway that...
Madame Dufour, I'm sorry to hear about your accident.
If you would be so good, Your Excellency, to extend Madame Dufour the graciousness of your hospitality. I prefer not to move her until I'm sure there's no danger of concussion.
Oh, you're quite right. You must both stay.
Unfortunately, my duties preclude my absence from the post. I shall send a trooper with a valise for Madame.
Good. My home is yours, Madame.
You're very kind, thank you.
Madame will know when she is to return home. Goodbye, my dear.
I'm so delighted you felt well enough to join us this evening. But you mustn't recover too quickly. We don't want to lose you to your husband. Do we, Mr. Conway?
Perish the thought.
You haven't said how you like my country, madame.
I like what I've seen, but that's not very much.
Oh, it's a land of romance, passion. You surrender to it, and you find happiness. We have a saying in the desert, what your heart desires, take now, because tomorrow may never come.
A very good motto, if you're an emir.
It's a good motto even if you're not.
And I wish I could remain with you, but I am already late.
To take what your heart desires?
Unfortunately, nothing so romantic. Merely business.
Oh, well, I'll go with you.
No, Mr. Conway. Where I go, there's nothing for you to do. Whereas here... One thing I forgot. Anything you want, there will always be a servant nearby.
Thanks.
Good night.
I've got to get out. I've got to follow him.
You can't possibly. Look.
Oh. Looks like we're being watched.
Oh, those eyes. Gives me the shivers.
Let's give them something to watch, huh? I hope you won't mind.
I'm under orders, too.
Make it look awfully good. You're my only chance of getting out of here.
Mr. Conway.
Mike.
Mike. Why do you take this risk?
I thought your husband told you everything.
Only that you were in his employ.
Well, then that should prove to you that I'll do anything for a buck. Look at me, honey.
I am looking at you, darling.
The floor show's about to start. Amos should be there any minute now. All right, make it look good. Real good.
We convince them?
You almost convinced me.
Like the guard.
How confusing. It may cost you your reputation. Babysitters. They don't expect me to leave for at least an hour.
Oh, Mike, don't try it. It's not your fight. Stay here.
Don't tell me, honey. There's a limit to how far.
Oh, if you're worried about Charles, don't be. I have it on the best authority. I'm just another weapon to be used when necessary.
I want you to know something. I was the one who actually sold those thugs the guns. I also taught them how to use them. Now, if it means so much to you that you'll risk your neck, I'm going to make sure that those guns aren't used. There's only one person who can guarantee that, and that's the Muhammad.
I was wondering if you'd get here. Lucky you had that map.
What'd you find out?
The Emir and his aide rode towards the camp.
Well, there's only one way the French will ever get out of this in one piece. And that's for us to get the Mohammed out of that camp. Let's go.
shot?
The emir's already killed one of the Muhammad's followers. That was probably the other one.
Since my answer is and will remain unchanged, you can now turn your gun on me.
In good time, Holy One. In good time. Your death is one that cannot be wasted. You will serve me well as martyr to French brutality. You may prove more valuable to me dead than alive.
Okay. Take one of their horses. Make enough noise so they'll chase you. While they're chasing you, I'll get the Muhammad out.
Okay. You come to free me?
If we're lucky, we'll all be freed.
Have I not been missed at the mosque?
Of course they missed you. It's a long story. I'll explain to you later. Come on. Hurry.
You must take me to Bujaba. From there, the garrison can take me to Timbuktu.
Amir and his men are spread all over the desert between here and Mojab. That's what the lieutenant is headed for. Well, if you lie low, take it easy, I'll get you out of here as soon as I can.
May the blessings of Allah go with you.
I hope they're bulletproof.
Alive!
Where is Conway?
He has not been seen. Rafi!
On your life, where is Conway?
In the room of the lady, Excellency. All evening.
At least knock.
Madame will forgive me. There are brigands loose tonight. I was concerned for her safety.
Darling, the safe.
I've got an awful lot of things I want to tell you. If we ever get out of this mess.
Tell me now, Mike.
The only important thing now is for you to stay alive. I've done what I came for. I got the holy man stashed. I hope you understand it. If marriage doesn't bring your husband and the troopers back from Bojiba, I'm changing sides.
Still the same old Mike.
Not this time. I don't care who gets hurt. There's one thing for sure. You're not going to be hurt. Yeah, it was very clever of her to fall off that horse, so we could be together, don't you think?
It sounds very persuasive, Mr. Conway, but I think it's wasted.
Suit yourself. But you're going to have her husband on your neck. Now, you don't want him around here, do you?
I think that can be avoided. Look here, Mr. Conway. Madame Dufour suddenly decided that she was quite recovered, thanks to your tender ministrations, I gather. As you can see, I provided her with a proper escort for her happy reunion with her husband.
You know something, Amos? You're all right.
Now that you can dismiss her from your mind, back to work. We're leaving the palace. This time for action. Actually, I had not intended to strike so soon, but the abduction of our beloved leader has forced my hand.
And what do you hope to accomplish with this little experiment?
He was unfortunate enough to be involved with the abduction. Are you prepared to tell us now where the Holy One is hidden? Fearful-looking beasts, aren't they? They're even more poisonous than they appear. Death usually occurs within 3 minutes. That is with one spider, but with 6.
What help can he possibly be till you're dead?
Not dead yet. Where is the Holy One?
You know, I don't get it. Why is the Holy Man so important to you? You've got the French outnumbered 10 to 1. What more do you want?
The people, my friend. They need a crusade to rouse them from their lethargy. They're the ones who must rise up and kill. But first they must have a taste of blood. To be truly civilized, one must have a slave caste, and the French have spread ideas about equality that must be destroyed. One bloodbath will destroy it. And then instead of 100 men behind me, there'll be thousands, and then tens of thousands, and then we'll sweep north and engulf Tunis and Morocco. And I shall be king not only of Timbuktu, but of an area the size of a continent. There you see, I've allowed my eloquence to distract me. I've missed the crucial moment. The lieutenant will not speak now. I must congratulate you, Conway. Not one man in 1,000 could have kept his silence under such circumstances.
Now, what did you expect me to do? Cheer?
Now, my theory was that you would tell me the whereabouts of Muhammad Adani.
Now, just how am I supposed to know where he is?
My dear fellow, shall we have an end of games? You see, you neglected to retrieve this last night. I did. It does awaken one.
And, just what is this supposed to prove?
My first instinct was to kill you last night, but to what end? Since you returned directly to the palace thanks to the lovely young lady, you obviously didn't turn the Adani over to the French, so you must have secreted him for future delivery. Now, you must understand, of course, that future delivery is impossible. So you will surrender him now. Give yourself an opportunity of dying in a civilized manner, rather under such barbaric circumstances.
Oh, you're not going to kill me. Because if you killed me, you wouldn't find Muhammad. And I'm not talking until you come up with the right amount of money. And a real safe place to spend it in.
You want to play for time? Well, you'll play for time.
If that's what you think, you're wasting yours. Look, honey.
You didn't really think I'd be such a fool as to return her to her husband, did you? Knowing what she knows? Oh, don't be alarmed at the spiders, madame. They're not meant for you. Unless, of course, you make it necessary.
All right. Pick up the marbles. You win. Sorry, honey. I know when I'm licked. All right. Tell your men to hold their fire. I know they could kill me, but this will go off in your guts at the same time.
Shelal Burudi. Give it up, Conway. We're too many for you.
I know that. You'll get to Mohammed. Well, I know she's safe.
I give you my word.
That's not enough. I want proof. Her husband wears a ring. Your boys is going to deliver her. Let them bring it back. I'll recognize it.
But that'll take hours.
I can wait.
Nagana, do as he says. Bring the ring back. You know where I shall be.
You mean this, Excellency?
Of course he means it, unless he wants to be splattered all over this tent.
Mike, what'll they do to you?
Don't worry about me. Just get up on that horse, and this time don't fall off.
Weary waiting, isn't it, Mr. Conway? Especially on the eyes. Wouldn't do to have one of my men crawl under the tent undetected, would it? Now, cheer up. Your waiting is almost over. Well, Mr. Conway, you feeling better?
Great. Why the safari?
We're on the move. By hiding the Mohammed, you have forced me to change my method of operation, Mr. Conway. You see, tomorrow we take Timbuktu by force. Thanks to your guns, we should be able to dispose of any of the townspeople who don't see things our way. Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Conway?
Just one more thing. Which one of those fighters was your mother?
In heaven's name, Charles, what are you waiting for? Give me the ring. Let me send it. Do you want him to be killed? Is that what you're waiting for?
Be still. Sergeant, in here. You mustn't think I'm not grateful for everything.
I don't want your thanks. Give me the ring.
Well,
Sir, there are no carts at the oasis, nor anything else. It's deserted.
bring in the Torah.
Yes, sir.
You know what that means?
Exactly. You've lost the holy man. So you don't care now what happens to Mike Conway. He's no longer useful to you.
All true, but hardly important. What matters is that Ghan cards are on the move, and so is the Emir. If they were attacking Bourguiba, they would have been here, so they must be moving on Timbuktu.
Well, can't the garrison there stand off an attack?
There is no garrison there. That's why I brought you here. Major Leroux left the city under the cover of night 2 days ago. In the war that France is engaged in, she needs every man that can bear arms.
I suppose you'll be taking the few men you have here.
Ah, they would be annihilated.
Is that what you're afraid of, Charles? You didn't hesitate to risk Gerard's neck.
Or Marat's, or Mike Conway's, or mine for that matter. Isn't it your neck that concerns you?
Come in. Inside. Strip him.
I always knew this day would come. Our husbands think they've conquered the desert. What's your husband going to do? What does he ever do? Nothing. You don't know him very well. What do you mean? When Mr. Conway escaped from the palace, it was my husband he found. But if it had been an hour earlier, he would have found yours. Victor and the Colonel alternated watches. I don't blame him for Victor's death. It could have been his. Is this true? Why would I say it if it weren't? Thank you, Jean. Thank you.
I left you a note.
You sent the ring.
The sergeant is giving it to two of the men who rode with you. They will give it to the emir.
And what about that other one, the gunner?
The emir will be told that the gun is held as a hostage for the safe return of Mike Conway.
That won't influence the emir.
I know it won't, but it will explain his absence, and I needed his clothes and his horse.
You don't mean you're going after Mike?
I will send here to quell an uprising. My only weapon is the holy men. To find him, I still need Mike Conway's aid. For that reason and that alone, I shall try to rescue him.
Charles, don't go alone. Can't you take the few troops you have and...
100 men wouldn't do any good, nor 1,000. No, the troops are under order to remain here. Under no circumstances are you or they to be enticed out into the desert.
Charles, I can't tell you how ashamed I am.
I am sorry I failed you, Natalie. It isn't that I don't love you. It's just that I thought that war is not a time for love. Perhaps I was wrong.
Where's the gunner?
The French are holding him, Excellency. It's a hostage. The Colonel sent you this ring.
Colonel's a fool. You said you'd recognize it.
That's it.
And where's the Mohammed?
Bring on your spiders.
For the first time, you disappoint me, Mr. Conway. I didn't think you'd turn noble on me.
You know, so you won't be too disappointed. I'd like to make you a little bet. I'll bet my wristwatch against your spiders. But the holy man gets to Timbuktu before you.
I still think you'll tell me where he is. Genius, isn't it? You see, the cord is twisted in such a way that the weight of the tarantula will unwind it. You still have plenty of time to think. When you feel like talking, just call out.
Take his gun, Maloft.
Strike the camp. Search every corner for the American. If Conway escapes, he'll try to get the Mohammed into Timbuktu ahead of us. We must get there first. Conway and the Mohammed must be destroyed. Get the gun cart started immediately.
We're heading for Timbuktu. Are you all right?
Mr. Conway, you're a strange answer to my prayers, but a very welcome one.
You better save your thanks, Your Holiness, till we're out of this. Right now, we stand a pretty good chance to end up on one of Tarak's spears.
I've lived all my life with danger, so that I could bring the truth to my people.
You're going to live with a lot of it before you tell them the truth in Timbuktu today.
The American must not enter the city with a holy man.
He will not, Your Excellency.
They know the French garrison isn't there. Why all those guns?
Very simple. They want to make sure that the Mohammed doesn't get inside those gates.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
I see no opposition anywhere. There's a very good sign.
But the moment the French at Bourgieba learn that we have taken Timbuktu, they'll be on the move to attack us.
We will be ready, Your Excellency. Our machine guns will be set up inside the city should the French get past the gates.
We got to get the Mohammed up in that tower so he can warn his people.
Very well. Move the carts into position.
Maybe we can make it to the tower while he's still praying.
Through this crowd, it's impossible.
It's a chance we'll have to take. Let's go.
Get them. Stop them from reaching the minaret.
In the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. Listen to the words of the Muhammad Adani. You have been betrayed. The Emir Ibn Bahai has pretended to be fighting in behalf of the people of the Sudan. But the Emir's words were all lies. But he wanted only to be absolute ruler of our land, a tyrant king who would enslave you. These people are our friends. Lay down your weapons and let us seek independence with honor.
He was a great soldier. He did what he came for. Now his job is done.